All right, what is up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be checking out the Ultimate Deck Three Brothers Bond, which this is not going to be coming out for a while over in the West, so spoiler warning, this is not coming out till April 2024 in the West, but it is out in the East. It is already out in the East as of December 23rd. It's already out. And this is a really cool 3-liter set, just like what we saw before with the Three Captains deck. Remember where it had Eustace Kid, Trafalgar Law, and Luffy, all the red-purple stuff. Now this one's theme is obviously the Three Brothers, but it's yellow is like the primary thing that unifies them all together. Really cool stuff here. And one more thing to talk about is there's a parallel art, alt version of each of the characters and leaders in here. And the way you get them, each box of this product comes with a bonus pack. A bonus pack. Collect these parallel cards that are only available in this product. So I'm assuming each time you buy one, which will probably be, let me see how much it was. I think it said down here. Looks like it's going to sell MSRP for around $35 US. So I think the way it will work is whenever you buy a box, you will get one of these, just one of these parallel art cards. Now, again, there isn't one for the events, but there is one for every single character and every single leader. So that will be really cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into this, guys. I'm going to try and whip through these 3 leaders, then we'll kind of talk about them as a whole, and then we'll go through all the characters and events. So first up is Sabo. He is a red-yellow, Dressrosa, Revolutionary Army type leader. And by the way, all of them are 5,000 power and 4 life. Unlike in the Three Captains Ultimate Deck box, or Ultimate Deck Starter, whatever it is whatever the technical name for it is. Those had a 3 life leader, a 4 life leader, and a 5 life leader, and then a 6,000 power leader, a 5,000 power leader, and a 4,000 power leader. With like you remember, Eustace Kid was minus 1,000 until you reached a certain life. So very cool. But all of the 3 brothers, Sabo, Ace, and Luffy, are all 5,000 power and all 4 life. Okay, so let's see these effects. Sabo has Dawn ×1, activate main once per turn. You may add one of your characters with a cost of 3 or more and 7,000 power or more to the top of your life cards face up. Then up to one of your characters gains plus 2,000 power until the start of your next turn. So it does persist, for an entire turn. Very cool. It looks like this one is just a straight up way to gain life. And even though this is kind of more, it seems more Revolutionary Army geared, I could see this being like a flat out life gain deck. I don't know, maybe not, like an attrition style deck that just, think about just making it later into the game and then just getting cards in your life, to gain life, and then playing out massive characters like good old, what's his name, Whitebeard, Edward Newgate, to go up to plus 2,000 power and stuff like that. We'll have to see, of course, but that's the initial vibe I get, though I could see there being a much more aggressive version with the Revolutionary Army package. But again, guys, for a 1 Dawn investment, you're going to be able to activate your main once per turn, add one of your characters with a cost of 3 or more and 7,000 power or more to the top of your life cards face up to buff one of your other characters. So if it's a character you want to protect that also has a trigger, that will be huge, right? Like what a lot of the Revolutionary Army type stuff has. So you'll be able to save it by putting into your life, and then when your opponent attacks your life, okay, it comes right into play. Or what's the other case scenario? They don't attack your life, and now you're just gaining 1 life every single turn with these effects. So I could see it would be potentially very powerful. Very cool leader effect. Okay, and there's the alt art. Very cool. Next up is Portgosti Ace. This is a 4 life, 5,000 power leader. Sorry, guys, I already said that. They're all going to be 4 life, 5,000 power. Blue-yellow color, Whitebeard Pirates. Okay, blue-yellow Whitebeard Pirates. That's a little interesting. Dawn ×2. So this one costs 1 more than the last one than Sabo did. Activate main once per turn. Look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and add up to 1 character card with a cost of 5 to the top of your life cards face up. Okay, so you're going to do a top 5 search and then put a 5 cost, not or more or less, a straight up 5 cost to the top of your life cards face up. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So you don't get to arrange them on the top. You have to put them on the bottom of your deck. and then at the end of your turn, you're going to trash all of your face-up life cards. Okay, so we have to keep that in mind as we go through these cards to see how we can interact with that. Because there has to be a reason that we're putting the cards face-up from our life to get this effect going. Okay? Now, one thing I will say, because like I already said, this is a spoiler-style video. There are cards coming out. One is called, I think her name is Viola. It is a yellow, I believe it's a 3-cost yellow blocker that puts all of your face-up life cards, like in your life area, obviously, face down. So that will combo very well with this leader to just gain life. But otherwise, I think there's going to be ways to manipulate this and get a strong advantage through this. Interesting, very technical leader. Top 5 search is nothing to scoff at, especially with the potential to get value from it. So we'll have to see what all the cards are, though, to see how that synergizes with Ace. Next up is Luffy. Black-yellow Luffy. Supernova Straw Hat Crew. The effect is your face-up life cards are placed at the bottom of your deck instead of being added to your hand, according to the rules. So face-up life cards are placed at the bottom of your deck instead of being added to your hand, according to the rules. Okay. Dawn ×2, just like Ace. Activate main once per turn. You may trash 1 card from your hand, and if you have 0 life cards, add up to 2 character cards with a cost of 5, exactly 5, not more or less, from your hand or trash to the top of your life cards face up. Wow. So so whatever can potentially benefit Ace will potentially benefit Luffy, right? Where you're dealing with these cards that are 5 cost that are face up in your life area. And this one is really nice because, I mean, even if you can't use them, you're still gaining 2 life if you're at 0 life cards. So things like Smoothie, things like Thunderbolt are going to allow you to get down to 0 life and use this when your opponent doesn't want you to use this, right? And again, whatever's going to help out Ace is going to potentially help out Luffy as well. But I will say this about the effect. I have read into this. I have looked on the forums. So unless something changes, these face-up life cards that are placed at the bottom of your deck instead of being added to your hand according to the rules, that means even the trigger does not resolve. Okay, so even the trigger will not happen or anything. Whatever card gets taken from your life will go to, you know, instead of going to your hand, will go to the bottom of your deck. Okay, so just looking at the 3 brothers here, I do have one little pet peeve I have to say. I wish Sabo was black-yellow and had Luffy's effect. I wish Ace was red-yellow and had Sabo's effect. And then I wish that Luffy was basically just green-yellow or red-yellow. He could have been red-yellow as well, but probably more green-yellow and just give him a different effect entirely. But just because like I said, like Sabo with the Dressrosa stuff, I don't know, that's what turns me on the most to get access to. I think that would be the most interesting, but this effect is very red, right? So, and then with Ace, are there any Whitebeard pirate type cards to have access to? I don't know, there might be in here, I'm not sure. But y'all tell me what y'all think about that in the comment section below. Again, what I was saying was have Sabo be a black-yellow leader, Ace be a red-yellow, and Luffy he could have been a red-yellow or a green-yellow, something along those lines. So very cool. But either way, it's fine as is, and I can't wait to play with a Luffy card, because y'all know I play mainly black. And, you know, speaking of that, I at some point I'll probably give the black Luffy leader a try. I've just been so busy with black-yellow Charlotte Linlin. I really love this color combination, and you guys know I'm going to be playing this in the future. Okay, so let's go ahead and look into the characters. And again, y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below on these leaders. Which one are y'all most excited to see in action or to play with? So now for the characters. Edward Newgate, 6 cost, 7,000 power, 1,000 counter, 4 Emperors, Whitebeard Pirates. So there's a yellow Whitebeard Pirates. I don't know if it'll matter or not, but I'm always thinking of like how things can synergize. Effect, on play, add 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. Then look at all your life cards, place 1 card at the top of your deck, and place the rest back in your life area in any order. Okay, let's break that down. Let's say you have 3 life. If you play this character, you'll go up to 4 life, and then you'll take you'll look at all 4 of your life cards in your hand, right? You'll look at 4 of them, or the 4 that we just had. You know, we had 3, we went up to 4. You'll put 1 back on the top of your deck. And then with the 3 remaining, you'll put them back in any order. So basically, you're not gaining a life. You're just grabbing the top card of your library or of your deck, and you're choosing the 3 best life cards, putting those back in any order that you want, and then you're putting the remaining card back on top of your deck so you know what you draw next time. Very powerful. 6 cost 7,000 power body with a 1k counter. This is a great 6-drop. Now, one thing I will say is I don't know if that will allow you to put cards face down, because it doesn't explicitly say that it does or doesn't, or if it can or can't. So I'm assuming it doesn't flip cards, face up, face down. It'll just be, you put them in whatever order and whatever orientation they're supposed to be in. So very interesting, but a very strong card. This is a great 6-drop to just plop down, and it has a 1k counter. This is outstanding. Really excellent card. Okay, there's the alt art. Very cool. Next up is Emporio Ivankov. This is a 3-cost, 4,000 power, 1,000 counter Revolutionary Army character. And these are all yellow, by the way. All of these cards we're about to look at. She is a blocker and has on play, or he, she, whatever it is, has an on play. You may trash 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards. Okay. Reveal up to 1 character card with a cost of 5 from your hand and add it to the top of your life cards face down. So that's going to allow you to work with this 5 cost stuff going on. Okay, for Ace and for Luffy. Doesn't seem as beneficial to Sabo, but maybe it is. Who knows? But I don't think the Sabo deck would really be going for that interaction. In fact, of all the 3 brothers, the Sabo effect really doesn't care much about a 5-cost interaction, right? It wants a 3 or more and a 7,000 power or more. So that's all that it's worried about. Okay, but long story short, this does seem like a very good character. It's a 3-cost, 4,000 power, 1,000 counter blocker with an effect. So it's on the level of 3-cost, 4,000 power, 1,000 counter blocker Doflamingo, but in a different way. Instead of, doing a top 5 search like Doflamingo does, this one you're gonna trash a card from the top or bottom of your life, and then add a 5-cost character from your hand to the top of your life, face down. So not quite the same, but I think it is still very powerful and on that level. Yeah, at least for the yellow decks, it has that kind of interaction, and it will help you set up your leaders properly. Okay, so that was Ivankov. Next up, we have Curly Dedant. This is a 5-cost, 4,000 power, 1,000 counter. Okay, kind of wonky stats there. Let's see what it does. It's a Mountain Bandit type character. Effect, blocker. Okay, well, that's nice already. That's nice. On play up to 1 each of Sabo, Portgasti Ace, and Monkey D. Luffy. Okay, with a cost of 2 from your hand. I was going to say this card's broken, but no, it's with a cost of 2 from your hand. So you'll be able to play out a Sabo, Ace, or Luffy that costs 2, with a cost of 2 specifically, not or less, with a cost of 2 from your hand. And it's a blocker after that. It's almost big enough to swing, but having that kind of play effect is very good. And it is a 5-cost leader, or excuse me, a 5-cost character, which can go into your life and do whatever interactions you need to, like what we saw with Ace and Luffy. So let's look at these 2-cost characters, because I think they are coming up here. Yeah, we got... All right, so here we go. We're going to go over the 2-cost characters first, because I think they're all pretty much the same. So here's the Sabo, 2-cost, 2,000 power, 1,000 counter. This one's Goa Kingdom. Ace is Goa Kingdom, and I'm assuming Luffy is too. Yeah, they're all Goa Kingdom. That's good. So I guess you can't do any kind of crazy searches on searches on searches to find them. They probably did that for balance reasons. But 2-cost, 2K, all of them are the exact same. They're 2-cost, 2,000 power, 1,000 counter. Activate main. You may trash this character. Reveal 1 card from the top of your life cards. If that card is a Luffy for the Luffy, Ace for Ace, Sabo for Sabo, with a cost of 5, you may play that card. And if you do, up to 1 of your leaders gains plus 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. Okay? So that is very strong. Right, guys? This will allow you to cheat out these 5-cost characters we were looking at with like Luffy's effect, right? Or with Ace's effect, where you're putting these cost 5 characters into your life Well, then you're going to be able to play out a 2-cost like Sabo or Ace, like, you know, where's Ace at? We just saw him, whoever. And as long as it's the corresponding character, like the 2-cost to the 5-cost, you'll be able to get it right into play. And buff your leader by 2,000 until the end of your opponent's next turn. So literally until the start of your next turn. So in other words, when you do this, on your opponent's turn, you have a 7,000 power leader. So that is very, very strong, potentially very strong. So now let's go ahead and look at what they all do. So Sabo's up first. We'll look at him first. He's a 5-cost, 6,000 power, 1,000 counter. Dressrosa, Revolutionary Army, of course. With the effect of on play, you may trash 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards, okay? KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. Wow. Okay, that's a 5-cost 6K that KOs a 5 or less with a 1K counter on it. Now, that is a steep, it's basically a lightning bolt, right? Or what's it called? Thunderbolt. Magic Mind, right? So it's Thunderbolt baked into a 5-cost 6K with a 1K counter. That is very strong. That is very, very strong. And it really actually helps your cause with something like Luffy, right? If you're running the Luffy leader in particular, when you activate your main here, you know, you're going to trash 1 card from your hand to go up to 2 life, right? Well, if you use Sabo, and remember, that was only 2 Dawn to do that, as long as you had 0 life. So now you just pay 2, and then you'll return a Sabo up there, you know, as the top card, and then have a Shirahoshi as the bottom one because you're going to trash it anyway. You go, so for 2 Dawn, you used Luffy's effect. You pay 2 Dawn for this character right here, and then you crack him. You play this and KO the other, you know, the one in life to put your leader to 7,000 power until the start of your next turn. Swing for 7, KO a 5 or less. You know, it's just so much going on there. A lot of potential. Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful there. Okay, next up, we'll come back to Ace, guys. Don't worry. I want to go over all the brothers first. Okay, we got a 5-cost, 7,000 power Ace here. Whitebeard Pirates. Effect on play. If you have 2 or less life cards, this character gains Rush. That's a 5-cost, 7,000 power rusher, guys. This is insane. You know, this right here, I'm looking at this like Deb Gum. I mean, I could use this in Black Yellow Lin or probably anything. NL, you name it. This card seems very strong. And if you use this with I am going back to the Luffy example because so far that's been my favorite one. But this would work in Ace as well, obviously. But with the Luffy, you know, again, you know, you put the 2 cards on top of your life in the order you want when you're at 0. And now, boom, we'll pop this down, go up to 7K for the turn, swing for 7 with our leader, swing for 7 with Ace. Yeah, seems good, right? Seems really strong. Excellent. All right, last but not least, let's go over the Luffy here. He's a 5-cost 6K with 1K. So the Ace did not have a 1K counter, by the way. That was the only one of the brothers 5-cost that did not have a counter. Luffy has a 5-cost. He's a 5-cost 6,000 power, 1,000 counter character as well. That Supernova Straw Hat Crew. He has the effect activate main once per turn. This character gains plus 2,000 power until the start of your next turn. So that puts him at 8. Then if you have 1 or more life cards, draw 1 card and trash 1 card from the top of your life cards. So that seems really good. You know, when you just used your leader's effect to go up to 2, and then maybe you just used one of your other, maybe you just used your Ace to pop that down. You know, then you can smash away with this. I don't know. Draw 1, trash 1's always nice as well. But I do see where that could be very strong as well. And that's a 5-cost 8K. even for until the next turn, right? Until the start of your next turn. So even if you just swung out with him for 8, they have to swing 8 into him just to get him. That's really solid. Really nice. Okay, so now let's go back to Shanks real quick. Really cool stuff with the brothers there, and I do like the life interaction, though it is very technical. The way that this will play out will be very, very technical, guys. You'll have to have a very good knowledge of how to play the deck and put a lot of reps in so that you know what you're doing. But the sky's the limits when it comes to this kind of deck and with the skill involvement and all that. So now we have Shanks. Let's do. So this is a 7-cost, 7,000 power Shanks. He's a 4 Emperors, red-haired pirates type. Effect on play. Excuse me. You may turn one of your face-up life cards face down. If your opponent has 7 or more cards in their hand, trash up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's life cards. Wow. So you may turn one of your face-up life cards. You may turn one. It says you may turn one of your face-up life cards face down. So you do have to do that to get this effect, right? Or else it's just a 7 cost 7k, because it doesn't say you may turn up to one of your face-up life cards face down. But then if your opponent has 7 or more cards in their hand, trash up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's life cards. So this seems just incredible. Like, all of the stuff Luffy brings back is going to be face up. If you can do it on the same turn, like maybe an 8 Dawn turn, where you can, or excuse me, it'll be a 9 Dawn turn to do this effect and to do Shanks' effect. So, I mean, it's possible, but I mean, that'd be a way to gain a life with the blue-yellow ace, and a way to crack one of your opponent's life, potentially, if they have 7 more cards in their hand. So, very solid. I don't think this card's insane. It's kind of combo-y. But if there's ever an attrition-style list for any of these decks, whether it be the red-yellow, blue-yellow, or black-yellow, I could see Ace actually being a very strong 7-cost card that just helps you out big time in the late game. Because I'm even thinking, like, for Sabo, like, maybe there's going to be a Whitebeard Pirates list that just runs Sabo as the leader to do what it does, that can still use this activate main effect when needed. You know, it's, I don't know, just a way to gain life. And yeah, I don't know. Could be very interesting. And Shanks could play a pivotal role in something like that. Or if there ends up being a blue-yellow control deck or a black-yellow control deck, this would fit in nicely there. But I will say this, not my favorite card. Not my favorite card, but not saying it's bad. Okay, so we looked at everything on this page, right? Yep, okay, we did all that. What else? We got 3 more characters and 3 more events here. So next up we have Makino. Okay, I was wondering where the 2k counters were. So we got a Makino, 1 cost, 0 power, 2k counter, Windmill Village type. Effect. On play, you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards to your hand, look at all your life cards, and place them back in your life area in any order. So this is going to be really good against the defensive lists. Like, any kind of list that doesn't want to swing at your life and wants to kind of starve you, this card's just insane, right? Because you get to draw a card and then set up your life cards from there. So that's just incredible. This card's very good, and then it's always just a good 2k counter. The type is somewhat, you know, it does hurt its case a little bit because it's not searchable, but still a very powerful effect. Okay, next up we have Monkey D. Garp. This is a 1 cost, 2,000 power, 1,000 counter character. Navy type, okay. Effect, on play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck. Reveal up to 1 Sabo, Ace, or Luffy with a cost of 5 or less and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So it's a nice top 5 searcher, and that is nice, right? Because, like, say you already have this card in hand, and you're, you know, or let me do Luffy because he's right here. Say you have this Monkey Luffy in hand, and you're trying, and then you just need to search up this to get the full effect from it, or vice versa. If you already have this and you need to search this up and find a way to get it in your life, I can see where that does help it quite a bit. That's a very solid interaction there. I'm assuming you pretty much have to run this if you're going to run this package. Maybe not. So one more time, on play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Sabo, Ace, or Luffy with a cost of 5 or less, and add it to your hand. It does place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. It's too bad with it being Navy that it doesn't just trash them, and who knows, maybe that'd be too strong into like a black-yellow deck or something. But you know, with brand new and all that. But still very strong, very solid. I think this card's fine. It's just a good searcher. And then last but not least for the characters is Yamato. 5 cost, 4,000 power, another 2,000 counter. This is a Land of Wano with Rush, and on play, look at all your life cards, place 1 at the top of your deck, and place the rest back in your life area in any order. So this is just like the Makino, where you're going to look at your life card. Well, this one, you look at your life cards, and then put 1 at the top of your deck, and place the rest back in your life area in any order. So the Makino draws you 1, and this just rearranges them but gives you a rusher. So, I mean, that's still really solid. 5 cost, 4,000 power rusher. Yeah, just solid. I think this is good. And at the end of the day, it's at least a 2k counter. And it is Land of Wano, so that might be searchable. You know, with whatever deck you're trying to do. Who knows? Very nice. All right, so let's get into the events. First up, we have Flame Dragon King. Flame Dragon King. That sounds cool. This is 2 cost, yellow, Dressrosa, Revolutionary Army type. Okay. effect counter up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 4,000 power during this battle. Okay, so it's a 2-cost 4K. Then look at all your life cards and place them back in your life area in any order. Wow. Okay, so that's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. That is crazy. That is really solid. Big fan of that. Big fan. I've always enjoyed the 2-cost 4Ks, but it's like they weren't good enough to run for a while there. Like, you know, they just, I don't know how else to say it, guys. A 2-cost 4K is just not practical right now. And that's not to say you can't run it. It's just that it seems like there's just better options currently. And that might be because of the current format. The current format is very fast, so maybe things will change in the future. Who knows? But long story short, this event is excellent. And let's see the trigger. The trigger is you may add one card from the top or bottom of your life cards to your hand, and then add up to one card from your hand to the top of your life cards. Okay, so nice. Everything about it is life manipulation. This is excellent. Yeah, really, really great event. Next up is Gum Gum Jet Spear. Excuse me. This is a 1-cost Punk Hazard Straw Hat Crew type event with a counter of up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 2,000 power during this battle. Okay. Then, if you have 0 life cards, draw 1 card. Okay. Trigger, you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards to your hand. Add up to 1 card from your hand to the top of your life cards. Okay, so the trigger is the exact same as Flame Dragon King. But Gum Gum Jet Spear, okay, it's a 1-cost 2K at the end of the day, with the added stipulation of, I guess the added bonus of, if you have 0 life, then you can potentially draw, or you can draw a card from it. Not a big fan of this one, personally. I don't think it's bad, it's just, it's a little too specific. Like, if it said if you had 1 life or less, draw a card, then I actually think it would be incredible. Like, not even broken, just really good. Because think of this, like, for those who don't know, for those who, let me say it like this. For anyone who plays Black Yellow Lin Lin, this card would be outstanding in that. Because you go down to 1 life all the time. Same thing in Blue Yellow Queen. Having a 1-cost 2K that draws you a card, yeah, we'll take it every single time. Like, that would be just fine. And then the trigger's excellent as well. So, overall, though, I think it's, you know, I don't think this card's great because it requires you to have 0 life. That's all I'm going to say. So, yeah, let's keep going. And then the last one is the Three Brothers Bond. This is a 1-cost Goa Kingdom type. Okay, it's a top 5 searcher. Trigger activates the main effect here. The main effect is look at 5 cards from the top of your deck. Reveal up to 1 Sabo, Ace, or Luffy with a cost of 5 or less, and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So, very cool. That card's fine. It's just a searcher. It's solid. So, guys, this is pretty interesting. Again, make sure y'all tell me in the comment section below which one y'all like the most out of these 3 leaders and what you expect to see and which ones you think is going to be the best and which one's the worst and so on and so forth. Just at first glance, I mean, of course I'm biased. Obviously I'm biased. And I'm looking at Black Yellow Luffy here. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, these 5-cost characters in there, I can have Sabo, Shirahoshi. I can have, you know, I mean, there's all kind of options, by the way, between Hina, Smoker, Garp, the 5-cost Garp. It's too bad, I have to say that. It's too bad this Garp couldn't search himself up. Where did Garp go? Here he is. Yeah, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck. Reveal up to 1 Sabo, Ace, or Luffy. You know, with it being this specific, it's too bad it couldn't search up a Garp as well. But maybe that'd be broken where you could go Garp into Garp into Garp, you know. I don't really know. But anyway, long story short, I do think that... Let me say which cards I think are the best out of what we've seen. I think this Newgate is outstanding. I think the Ivankov is fine. I don't think it's bad. I think it's a very specific niche type card, but I think it's very good. This Sabo is excellent. So now you'll have a solid yellow and black Sabo. You know, just really, really solid here. Excellent stuff there. The Ace was, or excuse me, the Shanks was okay. I think the Ace was actually really good. 5-cost 7K Rusher. This card is outstanding. This card is excellent. Big fan of this one. The Luffy was okay. I actually, of all the 3 brothers, the 5-cost yellow brothers that come in this deck, This was my least favorite one. And I'm not saying it's bad. It's just my least favorite. This character gains plus 2,000 power until the start of your next turn. Like, where's the effect, though? You know what I mean? Like, this is almost like a red card to me. Then if you have one or more life cards... Oh, it's one or more. I think before I said one or less. But if you have one or more life cards, draw one card and trash one card from the top of your life cards. Ah, man, I think I totally misread that earlier. I do apologize, guys. If you have one or more life cards, draw one card and trash one card from the top of your life cards. Why would this even... Why would this effect even be on Luffy? When it... I mean, and someone correct me if I'm wrong here, but does this, like, totally negate that? Your face-up life cards are placed at the bottom of your deck instead of being added to your hand, according to the rules. So, in other words, when you go to activate this effect, like, say you just used your leader effect with Black Yellow Luffy, wouldn't that just shut this off? If you have one or more life cards, draw one card and trash one card from the top of your life cards. I don't know. Y'all help me out, guys, if I'm misunderstanding this, but I'm not a huge fan of this one. I'll say that right now. I almost feel like this should have been the Sabo, at least according to... See, and that goes back to my my color gripe. Y'all bear with me, guys. I'm not trying to complain, but I just think this is interesting. Like, why would this not be the Black-Yellow leader? Why would Sabo, who already has a Dressrosa package in black, why would he not be the Dressrosa leader? Or excuse me, the Black-Yellow leader. And then, with Monkey D. Luffy, again, he probably should have been the Red-Yellow leader. He probably should have been the Red-Yellow leader. Because then he could have had Sabo's effect with this power stuff going on, and then that would make more sense with his character. I don't know. You guys help me out. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. But I am a big fan of Ace. I think Portgosty Ace, this card's outstanding. Big fan of the 2K counters are solid. Makino and Yamato, those are solid. The Garp Searcher's good. Flame Dragon King, excellent. This is good. Obviously, the Three Brothers Bond event, that's just a solid little searcher. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Sabo, excellent. Edward Newgate, really strong. Great 6-cost character that was needed for the black-yellow stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm always looking out for, right? I'm sure it's good in all these as well, though. Right, guys, y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. If I missed anything or if I misread something, y'all help me out. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you have not already. And I really want to hear your thoughts, guys. Which one of these leaders do you think is going to be the best and why, or the worst and why? And you know, y'all just share your thoughts down there. I love reading y'all's comments and y'all's ideas. So, okay, that's about it. I'm done rambling now, guys. Again, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you have not already. And until next time, guys, peace.